Hello, people. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to another installment of the series. This is an opposition preview featuring David, who is a Tottenham fan, clearly. Um, so, what we're going to do in terms of this opposition preview is that I'm going to give you the team news concerning both sides, and starting off with the Tottenham Hotspur team news as they are the home side, and then I'm going to give you the Chelsea team, and then after that we're gonna give you our lineups based on the team news in which I've given you or we've given you, and then lastly we're gonna give you some predictions, mine, David's, and Paul Merson's. We're gonna start with Paul Merson's, and we're doing this for triangulation purposes, so you get an idea of different people's opinions. Do Let's get straight into the team news. Um, Starting off with the Tottenham Hotspur team news, they've three new injury or updates have come out. One concerns their defence, and that is that Jan Vertonghen has returned to training. The second story is that Davinson Sanchez is out. I'm not sure what injury he has, but the second part of the story is that Kieran Trippier, or Trippier, however you pronounce his name, is out with a groin injury, which it's not good for them. And then the last injury story concerning the Tottenham Hotspur first team is to do with Moussa Dembele, who is in Qatar for rehabilitation purposes after picking up an ankle injury. That's all for the Tottenham Hotspur team news. Now for the Chelsea team news. In the last few hours, I've heard that Maurizio Sarri hasn't revealed too much about any injury worries. So that's the first story concerning the Chelsea first team, and the second and last story concerning the Chelsea first team is to do with Mateo Kovacic, who has been deemed available for selection after recovering from a muscle injury which was sustained during the international break. So that's good news for us. That's all for the team news concerning both sides. Now David is going to give you his lineup in which he has picked based on the team news in which I have just given you. Fire away.
Yeah, so I've gone with a formation of 4-2-3-1, my favorite formation. And in goal, I've gone with Hugo Lloris. I think he's just our best goalkeeper, and he's not injured. So anytime he's not injured, he would always be in goal. Um, and from right to left, I've gone with um, Serge Aurier. Simply because I think because Kieran Trippier is injured, I'll go with Serge Aurier because I don't think Carl Walker Peters is going to get a game anytime soon. And then I've gone with Toby Alderweireld. Again, he would always be in the team if he's not injured, usually. Um,
He's your best centre back in my
yeah,
opinion.
yeah. And his partner would always be Vertonghen as well, usually in my opinion. Um, and the left back, I would go with Ben Davis simply because I think he's doing better than Danny Rose overall. And I think, is Danny Rose injured? I think, or is he?
I don't think he's injured. I think he'll
Oh
feature on
yeah,
the bench.
yeah.
Um, yeah, continue.
So then, yeah, in the midfield too, I'm just trying to think in Poch's mind. I'll go with Wanyama, even though I believe he's been our worst player this season. With him, I'll go with Sissoko. So then, if anything is going wrong, I think Dyer would be the backup to come on for either Wanyama or Sissoko. And then the attacking midfield three. In the middle, I'll go with Christian Eriksen. I just don't think. Uh, I think Ali would be a backup from the bench, and I just think Christian Eriksen is the best option to start with.
No matter what, no matter what, no matter when, no matter where, what position Ali starts in, as in on the bench or in the starting 11, he'll always cause us trouble. That's something we just need to get around our heads. He's caused us so much trouble in the last few games. He always scores against us. The only time I can think of where he didn't, the only times I can think of where he didn't score against us were when we beat you 2-1 at Stamford Bridge back in 16-17, and when we beat you 2-1 at Wembley where you didn't even score.
So I think Eriksen and Ali, these kind of players need to shine in this game if we're gonna have any chance of getting a result out of this game.
Don't be surprised. Chelsea fans, don't be surprised if they do shine because we let them shine all the time. But I'm gonna be quiet and let you finish your
That's
lineup.
alright. Uh, on the right hand side, I've gone with Lucas Moura. I just think because he's a new player, coming from last season, we didn't play him much, and this season we're most likely gonna play him in um, all of our games pretty much, or most of our games if possible. And I just think he deserves to start over Eric Lamela at the moment. And I think Eric Lamela could be a backup to come off the bench to cause problems, hopefully. And on the left hand side, I've gone with Son. Like I said before, I think Lamela would be the bench player this time round. And Son, on his day, he can do a lot of damage, and on other days, he doesn't perform. And I just hope in this game he performs. And of course, up front, I don't even have to say why. Harry Kane.
So that's a very strong lineup. To recap, I'll do both the recaps just to let you all know. He's gone with a 4-2-3-1 as that is typical Tottenham nowadays. He's gone with the recent goal. He's gone with a back four from right to left of Serge Aurier, Toby Alderweireld, Jan Vertonghen and Ben Davies. He's gone with a midfield five of Wanyama and Musa Sissoko in the two defensive midfield roles, with Lucas Moura, Christian Eriksen and Son Heung-min in the three attacking midfield roles, and Kane occupying that lone striker role. Now for my lineup, I've gone with a 4-3-3 with that deep line playmaker involved because that is Maurizio Sarri's favourite formation. He has tried to play this style of football using a 4-2-3-1 and he said that it doesn't work. So yes, that's the formation out of the way. Getting into the personnel, I've gone with Kepa in goal. I don't see Willie Caballero or even Rob Green getting a start, and I would be truly amazed if Rob Green is even on the bench for tomorrow's game. But yes, I've gone with Kepa in goal. I've gone with a back four from right to left of Cesar Azpilicueta, as he is our better right back at the moment. I've gone with Antonio Rudiger and David Luiz in the centre back roles. I've gone with David Luiz because he's most likely played with Lucas Moura in the Brazilian team. I'm not entirely sure about that, but he should have Lucas Moura's number as they are both from the same country. And in the left back spot, I've gone with Marcos Alonso because if you've watched my preview, you would have known that I've spoken about Marcos Alonso being a very crucial player to our left hand side, particularly against Tottenham or just both North London sides in general, because
Wow,
Marcos Alonso loves playing against Arsenal and Tottenham. He thrives off those games. So
a
that's the
great
back
player.
four. That's the back four. Getting into the midfield three, I've gone with Jorginho in that deep line playmaker role. And again, if you've watched the end of my review for our game against Everton, and my preview by myself, then you would know that I would like to see Cesc Fabregas get a start because he has played against Tottenham many times, and he has far more Premier League experience than Jorginho does. But no Maurizio Sarri, he's just not gonna do that. I mean,
With favoritism.
we he played exactly he played Jorginho against Bate Borisov in a 1-0 win away to them in Belarus, obviously. And then guess what he did? He played him against Everton. He played him against Everton, and the funny thing is that Cesc Fabregas he was ill, so he missed the game against Bate Borisov, and then and Jorginho played the whole game against Bate Borisov, I think it was, and then against Everton, Jorginho plays, and then Cesc Fabregas comes on in the 64th minute in the second half. If a player is rested for a game, why do you not start them the game after? It makes no sense. But I've gone with Jorginho simply because Maurizio Sarri is always going to go with Jorginho,
I think
unless
Jorginho will probably get a red card tomorrow because he's been reckless recently.
yeah he has been reckless. I mean against Everton where I think he was slightly out of his depth. I mean Gylfi Sigurdsson did a job on him. He was man marking him out of the game. I mean you saw in the first half when he put in that tackle how horrendously out of his depth he was. I mean this is exactly why I do not think that Jorginho should be in that middle role. although he is a very skilled passer of the ball, his defensive qualities just aren't there. I mean, he's not the quickest. His tackling is just, he's not N'Golo Kante. So,
Yeah.
but I've gone with him in the middle because I just know that Maurizio Sarri is going to put him there. And just ahead of him, I've gone with Mateo Kovacic in that left central midfield role, with N'Golo Kante occupying. I mean, N'Golo Kante, not Canteen. What the hell is that? It sounds like you're trying to say canteen. But I've gone with N'Golo Kante in that right central midfield role, with Mateo Kovacic occupying the left central midfield role.
I don't
Now,
know about Kovacic. He might be a bit iffy because of the news, the team news.
yeah, I think Kovacic has been brilliant for us. The only thing he's missing is a goal, because his dribbling abilities are just. I don't know why Real Madrid let him go on loan. I don't know why they let him go on loan, because he is a talented player, and I would love to see us get him permanently. Although that would severely dent the hopes of our younger midfield players, but we'll just have to see. Getting into the front three now from right to left again. I've gone with Pedro on the right hand side. I've gone with Alvaro Morata up top, and I know for a fact that I'm most likely going to get slated for going with Alvaro Morata, but I've gone with Alvaro Morata because based on the last game against Tottenham Hotspur, in which I would prefer to forget,
Yeah.
it was not his fault. He barely got any service whatsoever, and if you all remember correctly, it was him who scored the goal. So, and he is a confidence player. So if you start him on the bench, what makes you think that he's going to come off the bench and do anything if he's not starting games? I think Morata works better when he starts games. Um, Certainly this season anyway. I think that our other two forwards need to look at what Ruud Gullit said back on the 4th of November, where he said that our wingers need to start crossing the ball in more, and because if they do that, then you never know how much trouble we can cause Tottenham. But yes, Alvaro Morata up top, and on the left hand side, you can guess who I've gone with. I've gone with that man again, Eden Hazard. To recap my lineup: Kepa in goal, a back four from right to left of Cesar Azpilicueta at right back, a centre back pairing of Antonio Rudiger and David Luiz, with Marcos Alonso at left back in that midfield three. I've gone with Jorginho in that deep line playmaker role, with Mateo Kovacic and N'Golo Kante just ahead of him. And in the front three, again from right to left, I've gone with Pedro Rodriguez on the right hand side, Alvaro Morata up top, and Eden Hazard on the left. Now it's time for the predictions. I cannot speak. Sorry, I'm really tired. I had training yesterday, so forgive me. Um, Starting off with Paul Merson's prediction, he has gone with a 1-1 draw, as he believes that he can't see Chelsea losing, and he believes that a draw would be a good result for Chelsea as they are in transition mode. So basically, he means that they're obviously changing their philosophy. They're not a defensive team anymore. They're not expected to win the title. That sort of thing. That's what he's saying. And
Wow.
the second thing, which you lot know I disagree with, is he believes that he doesn't see Tottenham grinding this one out as they lack squad depth. For me, this one doesn't always matter, because Tottenham have some world class players. I mean, we've mentioned it in our combined 11 video, and we've mentioned it here already. They have Kane, they have Son, they have Ali, they have Christian Eriksen, who always causes us problems along with Ali. They have Eric Lamela, they have Dembele, who won't be playing tomorrow, but they have a whole array of players who can cause us problems. So I don't know what Paul Merson is talking about. And to be fair, Paul Merson has been the subject of some abuse from football fans, and in some ways I can see why, because some of his opinions are a bit over the top. But yes, I disagree with that.
Also, I'd say that in certain games, our back's been against the wall in terms of squad depth, and we've managed to grind out results, particularly the last game as well. So,
Yeah, I actually watched Tottenham's game against Crystal Palace, and I didn't watch all of it. I was popping in and out of the room, but I have to admit that they grinded that one up. It was not their best performance by any means whatsoever, but in that particular situation is in that particular situation where performance doesn't always matter,
yeah,
which can determine where someone finishes at the end of the season. So that's exactly why
Just care about wins, to be honest.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's exactly why I am not confident, because Tottenham, they were like us of a few seasons. They were like us of last season. We were just so good at grinding out wins. I mean, tell you what, that game against Tottenham, that game against you lot
yeah,
at Wembley last season was a prime example of how good we were at that. We were sitting back for the majority of the game. We lined up in a 3-5-2 with with David Luiz, Bakayoko, and N'Golo Kante in the middle. It was a makeshift back three that ended up being a regular back three for us at the time, and we ended up grinding out a really good result based on what little attacking prowess we had at the time. I mean, Cesc Fabregas wasn't available, nor was Eden Hazard, as he had an ankle injury.
you still won.
Yep, exactly, and we still won. So that's exactly why we both disagree with what Paul Merson said about Tottenham squad depth, because they've just been grinding out results, and if they set up correctly against us tomorrow, I can see us getting killed. But moving on to David's prediction now, fire away again.
So I've gone with Tottenham Hotspur 2, Chelsea 2, simply because I think both forward lines will thrive on the day, and I think the game will be determined by the strength of the midfield, and I also think both defenses would they won't really have a good game, and I think the goalkeepers won't really have a good game as well, because I think it's going to be extremely tough to cope with the midfield and the attacks of both teams.
I especially agree with the fact that the game's going to be determined by the strength of the two midfield units. I think that if you were to put based on the two lineups in which we gave, if you were to line Jorginho, Mateo Kovacic, and N'Golo Kante against Wanyama, Sissoko, and Christian Eriksen, if you were to line them up against each other, then it will be a very close battle. I think Tottenham will just edge it on strength, because Wanyama and Sissoko are just
Especially Sissoko recently has been doing really well. Been proud of him.
exactly. He has been doing well with those driving runs, but if you're looking at strength, then I'm sorry, Chelsea fans, but Tottenham will win that one very easily. Jorginho, oh my god,
I hope we could pass the ball around him so he might get a bit frustrated.
Jorginho, Jorginho is just not. He's not the strongest player. And no, this isn't a video where I slate Jorginho. I love the guy, but give him,
His
give him,
penalties are amazing.
give him time. Give him time to prove his worth. Just stop overhyping him. I mean, I love the guy, but he's only just come in. He's had 13, 12 Premier League games, so just give him time. But it's gonna be a very interesting midfield battle. I think that based on the overall quality, I think that it's fair for me to say that we just just edge it.
Yeah,
Maybe we have even midfields. Who knows? But the moral is just the main thing is that it's going to be tight in midfield. I raised the same point in my preview earlier, so I'm gonna give you my score prediction. 1 second. I've gone with Tottenham Hotspur 1, Chelsea 1, because I think it will. I think that will be a very close contest, particularly in the midfield area, like we've just both given you a very detailed summary about. I've also gone with a 1-1 draw because Chelsea have had a few issues regarding the front three, which I've spoken about in my preview by myself, but I'll get into them. I'll get into those problems for you anyway. The first problem being that Morata sometimes doesn't make the runs, and the second problem is that Morata makes the runs, but our two forwards do not cross the ball and they just cut inside sometimes. So our front three need to be on the same page, because if they're not and we don't take our chances, then what happened against Manchester United will most likely happen again, and even worse, because yeah, you should have seen me off camera. But yeah, that's the second reason, and the last reason. This one isn't necessarily to do with Chelsea whatsoever. It's to do with Tottenham, and that's the fact that Tottenham have been making a few mistakes in midfield, which have
yeah,
allowed the opposition to hit them on dangerous counter attacks. Although Tottenham have had the the grace of saying that they've been lucky to not have let them hit them on successful counter attacks, or in other words, concede goals on the counter attack. But that's exactly why I think it's going to be a draw. I think that it's going to be a very tough game for both sides. It's very hard to pick a winner because both sides have such quality players. But if I said this in the comment section of a CFC Fan TV video. I said that it's going to be a tough game, and I can see Tottenham. I can even see Tottenham winning this game because of their recent ability to grind out results. I mean, that's something we used to be so good at. I mean, if Tottenham if Tottenham set up, I think the main thing is that if you lot set up correctly, if Mauricio Pochettino sets your team up correctly and he picks the right players, then you lot can cause us some real trouble. I mean, I'm gonna go back to a game I watched with you back in August. Was it August where you played Watford and you lost 2-1?
Yeah, it was.
Oh yeah, that was late August, wasn't it? That was a prime example of where Mauricio Pochettino didn't set up his team correctly. I watched that game and I saw Tottenham line up in a 3-5-2 and I was thinking, what are you doing? Like Watford use that formation pretty often. I think they're most likely going to get their work. They're most likely going to work their way around it because they've used the back three before and they've torn us apart with a back three system, and I don't even want to remind myself of that, but it's relevant. So yeah, but it again, like the main point is that it depends on how both teams set up. I think that if we set up correctly, if Maurizio Sarri makes the substitutions early and makes the correct substitutions, then I think that we'll have a fighting chance of winning. And the same for Tottenham, if they set up correctly and they use the right players in the correct positions, then they will most certainly cause us problems because they've done that in the past. That's all I have to say because I'm running out of steam here. Anything else you have to say?
All I have to say is that I feel excited about the game, but for some reason I'm like, when it comes to London derbies, I'm like very nervous. So
Yeah,
yeah,
same. It's especially with sorry, let me just tap my screen. With London derbies, specifically Tottenham, I always just I always get so nervous. My heart's always racing. I'm always getting to the point where I need to drink some water or something like that just to calm my nerves a bit.
would you
Um,
say that we're your most competitive London rivals, or would you say Arsenal?
Recently, that's a good question because Arsenal have had our number in the last few years. But I think back in August we put that right with that 3-2 win, that deserved 3-2 win for you Arsenal fans who think that we didn't deserve to win that game. Um, I think that Tottenham have caused us far more. I'm going to be honest with you. I think that Tottenham have caused us far more problems than Arsenal have in the last few seasons.
Or
I mean,
interesting.
in 16-17, um, do you know what? I didn't even watch this game, but when you beat us 2-0, it wasn't. I don't think, based on what I've heard from other fans, I heard that Tottenham weren't exactly playing great themselves, and nor were we. It was just the fact that you lot took your chances and we didn't.
Yeah,
But based on what I heard from Chelsea outlets like Eunice HH, who we both love, um,
amazing fan.
um, we didn't play well. But I didn't watch the game, so but the goals we conceded were just
The same twice. The same.
same thing twice exactly. The only difference was that they ended up on different sides. The only difference was the way he headed the ball, and I think never mind who crossed the ball in for both goals. It was just both goals were just avoidable, and we had chances to put the game to bed. I mean, we had chances to get some goals in that game as well, but we just didn't take them. So that's an example of Tottenham causing us problems. Another
I just didn't see us losing that game, to be honest. It was the last season at the lane.
I predicted a 1-0 win for us that game is because
Yeah,
I just didn't see us going there and getting like a massive win because it's a ground where we haven't won there since 2012, and that record will only be broken when your ground opens, which should be
fair
very soon.
enough. Yeah.
Um, I think with Wembley, But if you look at it this way, Wembley, when it comes to us for you lot at Wembley, we have your number. We most certainly
Yeah,
have your
true,
number. You haven't
true,
beaten us there in over a decade. The
true,
last time,
true.
the last time you beat us there was the same time the last time you won a trophy. I'm not even. I'm just stating facts. Like you lot know that I'm not one to.
Yeah.
It's going to be an interesting game, and also you have the semi-final 2 seasons ago. I mean, it's a shame that we don't have Matic anymore.
That was a great game, to be honest. Oh,
That was a really good game. I watched part of it at mine and the rest of it here, and it was just that game was amazing. It was a heart and mouth game. Um, we score first, Tottenham equalise, we score again, Tottenham equalise. I guess who equalised this for the second time for them? Dele Alli, and then Eden Hazard comes off the bench. Put the ball takes the deflection of Matic, and he draws a weak foot shot into the bottom corner, and then we all know what happened with our fourth goal.
that was a killer. That killed us there. That was the icing on the cake. That was it.
It was a shame. It's a shame that we ended up selling Matic because Matic would have been he would be he, he'd most likely thrive in this sort of game because whenever he was with us he'd normally play at least okay against Tottenham because he's good at driving with the ball. His passing range was just world class. His shooting ability, which we both know, was just again world class. Um, but yeah, those are just a few examples of where Tottenham caused us problems.
I'd probably say that was probably the worst FA Cup defeat out of the other. When we lost 1-0 to Palace in the quarters, and we lost 2-1 to Manchester United. I'll probably say the Chelsea one was the most painful because I really thought we did have a chance.
Yeah, I thought that we weren't. I thought that we set up really well on the counter attack. Because we started with Matic and Kante, so that tells you how that should tell you how we're gonna play. That would have told you how we start the game off, and then Fabregas came on, and then Fabregas and Eden Hazard, along with Diego Costa came on, and then I think that was a formation change, because I cannot remember who came off, but it changed the game for us, and it was just really good. So hopefully Maurizio Sarri takes some notes because his substitutions in the game against Everton were just they were good, but they just didn't come at the right times. And like I said, Fabregas should have started. He should have started. So that's on Maurizio Sarri, but hopefully he makes the right decision. That's all I have to say. I literally cannot think of anything else unless you want me to think of something from the past. Anything else you have to say?
Nothing much. That's it, to be honest.
So that's the end of this opposition preview. I think this is my longest video by a very long shot, almost 30 minutes. But my videos will be getting longer as I clear some more space on my device. But yeah, hopefully we win. It will be very nice to see us put that terrible, terrible defeat at Stamford Bridge to bed. Although I think that a win at Wembley wouldn't fit
Yeah.
that bill
Wouldn't you
because
have to do that at Stamford Bridge? Or at Wembley?
I honestly don't know what would fit that bill because that was just such a terrible defeat. It wasn't the fact that we lost; it was the way we lost. Because, like I said in our reviews of the game, I said that it was the way we lost and not the fact that we lost because obviously that record was going to come to an end at some point. It was just the way we lost, especially the fact that we scored the first goal in the game. We scored the
Yeah.
first goal in the game,
And I was just thinking, same old. Like,
I mean, if you lot scored three, and then we scored one, I wouldn't be happy still, but I'd be more okay with that than scoring the first goal.
yeah, then letting it
And
go.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, that's all I have to say. That is the end of the video. I said that twice now. My next video will be my 7 favourite goals against Tottenham Hotspur. You can do a video on your 7 favourite goals against Chelsea if you want. That's basically a series of mine where I go back into the archives and look at some goals in which we've scored against you lot, or just any team in general, based on, it depends on who we're facing, of course. And then my video after that will be my 4 things in which I believe the Chelsea first team need to do in order to beat Tottenham. And again, you can do one for the reverse. So 4 things in which Tottenham need to do in order to beat us. And then obviously after that will be the team sheet reaction. And again, you can join in if you want. And then after that, it will be my reaction video, and after that it will be some reviews. So there are going to be loads of Tottenham Hotspur versus Chelsea videos for you lot to thrive on. Hopefully you all enjoyed this video. That is the end of the video. Like, comment and subscribe to my channel. You need to start a channel yourself.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. I can help you set it up if you want. But see you all very soon. Come on, you Blues.
Come on, you Spurs.
May the best team win.